Just to let you know, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica Lucke, and I am the Director of Client Success here at Altos Research. Many of you have probably met with me and had a coaching session, so welcome. I'm hoping you're excited about today's session. I've been looking forward to doing this for quite some time. I'm really excited about bringing back the Lunch and Learn. Those of you who have participated in the past, I hope you found value in them. It's an opportunity to kind of go outside the box, right? And not so much how to, but like strategies on how you can incorporate Altos into your business to make it more successful, right? And that's what our real goal is. We want you to think of Altos as a resource that helps with your success. And so I'm also really interested to hear about those successes. Oftentimes I get to share, here's a bunch of different strategies or here's how to do things. And then when I get to hear from you again, it's about teaching new things. So anytime you have, some successes, please share. Share in the chat. You can go ahead and share, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to give a little bit, there's still folks joining. I want to give them an opportunity to connect. I'm going to go ahead, close that. This is being recorded. So if you have to step away, you're welcome to do so. You'll get an email with that recording. So don't worry about skipping a beat there. Okay. And again, those of you who didn't hear at the very beginning, I encourage you to use chat for any of your questions. We have Jeff manning that. He's our expert at Altos, so he can answer any questions you might have. If you have questions for me, I'd be happy to contact you after. All right. Okay. Well, for those of you who have met with me before, know that I'm pretty much a chatty Cathy. And so we want to make sure we get started so we can cover what we need to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get started. Okay. Whether you're brand new to Altos or you've been around a bit, I'm super excited that you're here, setting aside the time to learn more about Altos. The Lunch and Learn series, like I've mentioned, is such a great opportunity for me to go outside the box and talk about strategies and some fresh stuff to keep you engaged with Altos and learn how you can incorporate it into your business to make it even better than it already is. Okay. So I'm hoping that this session inspires you to dive in and take advantage of some of the tools that you may not have realized that you have. Today, we're really excited, and that's why we are reintroducing Altos, because we've made some changes to our platform. And I'm really, really excited about an opportunity to share with you some of the new things that we've introduced. And some of those things might be a little hidden. And so hopefully you'll walk away from this session with some new ideas and some excitement. Okay. So again, any questions you have, please use the chat and we'll go ahead and move forward. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So just bear with me for 1 second. All right. All right. So what you should be able to see is our lovely market report. Okay. So although the majority of our time will be spent discussing the platform, I did want to start with what brings you to Altos. We want you to be the expert in your local market. And Altos is here to answer the question, how's the market today, right? And doing so sets us apart. So you guys may have thought at some point or been thinking, hey, what makes Altos different, right, than other market reports that are available? And so many market reports out there are updated monthly, right? And they use sold data, both of which are super valuable. Don't get me wrong, but that answers a different question, right? The question that answers is, hey, how was the market when a property sold 4 to 6 weeks ago? We want to be able to answer the question, how's the market today, and provide leading indicators as to where we're headed, right? And so that's what makes us unique. That's what makes our reports and our data so important, right? And so what you'll see here is that our reports are updated weekly, right? And what's really great is that you can customize. So I wanted to touch here because just in case you didn't know, when you have a subscription with Altos, you get to customize your reports, have it have your vibe, right? So that's really great. Now, you can customize the reports. You have reports available for state, regional, county, city, and down to the zip code. And one of our goals, which I think is so really valuable, is that we're able to take the complex data and put it into an easy to understand format. And so when you're looking at the report, when you're sharing the report, that is such an important aspect, right? You're dealing with different personality types. Some people are engineers who really love the numbers. Some people are more visual. And so they like the visual components that make up the report. And then there's some who are like super intimidated by the data, right? And so what's important is that we provide narrative that helps them better understand the report. And so this is so important because no matter who you're communicating with, you're able to get them the answer to the question. And so what I wanted to touch on really quickly is what makes up the report and how you can quickly guide through, right? It's broken up into 3 parts. You'll see here that this is a summary of the market for whatever given location, okay? So this is the summary. The important thing is it answers the question, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market, and how much so, right? And how does it do that? Well, I like to focus on the heart of the report, which is the market action index. The market action index is a proprietary algorithm. It's just a fancy term for private equation, where we take a series of supply and demand statistics and tie them up in a bow. Our data team determined that when the final weighted end result, the end of that equation, was 30, where you'll see noted here, that is a balanced market. Anything greater than 30 favors the seller, anything less favors the buyer. So quickly, at a glance, we get to the answer to the question, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? And in addition, we can answer the question, how's the market today compared to this time last month? How? Because the gray represents 30 days back. And as you can see here, there's been no real change since this time last month. But if I click on condos, what you'll notice, it does a little dance. You'll see that our condo market for said location is significantly hotter than it was this time last month. What that means is this is extremely valuable. You can hop from one report to another report and quickly get to the answer to that question, which is the goal. So if this answers the question, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? The real-time market profile is the why. So it's a series of statistics that support the answer that you find here. So this, again, is a summary for our location of interest. The second portion of our report is our historical data. You have 5 years to look back. It's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And it's a great story to tell. And there's so many stories that you can tell using our report. Come up here and you can change the statistic. Focus on inventory. You can focus on any of the statistics within that dropdown. And then lastly, the third section of the report allows you to then, we'll go back to houses. The third section allows you to talk about the nature of the market even deeper. So we're looking at a zip code, dive down into the most expensive 25% of properties and the least expensive 25% of properties. We can talk about what you can expect for your money in those different segments. And even better, how's the nature of the market? How quickly is inventory moving from list to pending? Your days on market here. Okay, so this is a quick run through of the report, but again, I think it's important to focus on what is it that we want to be able to do, right? And the fact that this is updated weekly, you have fresh content week after week, fresh content that you can share with your clients. So we're going to skip over to our platform now, where we house these market reports, right? And so what's really great here is, hey, if you've been around for some time, this is brand new and it's super exciting to be able to share with you the changes, okay? But if this is brand new, you may not know some of the things that you have access to. So first things first, this first view, this is when you log into your account, you have your list view. This will provide a list of all of your locations within your account, right? Each one of these is a unique URL, right? And so we've got your list I've got a gazillion reports in my account, right? So I can go from one page to the next. Now, something we've added is the ability to sort. And so if we click on this drop down, you can sort all reports. You want to look at just cities and zips? You can. If you want to take a look at your counties, if you have them, you can. And even your regions. But one of my favorites is literally favorites. The ability to go ahead and set aside those that you look at most, right? And highlight them so that you can quickly gain access to what you consider your favorites. How? So for example, if I select Campbell as my favorite, I'm going to select the box to the left of that name, use options and click Mark Selected as Favorite. I get a little heart. Great. Well, if I wanted to view just my favorites, I use the drop down, select favorites, and now all I see are those that are important to me. Not to say I don't want the others, but this is something that I can quickly access. Okay. And so definitely take advantage of that. Now, all reports view. Along the top, we also have our search. Because I have such a big list, right? You can use your search to go ahead and access whatever it is that you want. So if I want the citywide, I just type it in and here's my citywide. Again, on click loads the report. Okay. Now, another thing here that you may not realize that you have is the ability to view what reports are being viewed the most. So if you come over here, you can sort by views. And you can see here how many views I've had. So this can give you some insight as to what's most popular within your list of subscriptions, right? So these are the locations that are currently being viewed. Okay. And so we can go back and sort from A to Z, Z to A. All right. You can also filter by county if you want. If you've got multiple counties and you just want to see those that are within a particular county, you can do that. Or if you have reports that are outside of counties, you can also sort by that as well. Okay. But hopefully this makes sense. You would search your current subscriptions using the search your reports. This tool where you add a report is if you want to add to your subscription. So let's say I subscribe to one county and I want to add a county. I would click on add report, click on counties, and then do so here. Chances, and I will have to upgrade, right? So there are upgrade paths built into this. So if you want to just find the report that exists within your account, use the search function. If you want to add to your account, you would add the report here. Now, another really cool thing that I like or that we've added is a different view. So this has been traditional, right? So those of you who've had an Altos account for some time, you're familiar with this list view. What you might not be familiar with is our new market view. So if you click on the icon here, which is the 3 lines, click on that and select market view. This is pretty cool. This allows you to see at a glance the nature of the market for any of your locations. And since I've selected my favorites, awesome. I can see at a glance the change, or I can see at a glance the nature of the market, how different, right? And what am I presented with? Well, I've got median list price, average days on market, and market action index. And since we've discussed the market action index, we know that 30 is our balanced market. I can easily see how different each of these markets are. Now, what if I wanted to see change? What if I wanted to see the difference between what this states now and maybe last week? The good news is you can. So if you click on the settings tool, you can show weekly change. Turn that on, right? So now you have reason to continually come back and view your favorites, see the change that's occurred since the previous week. You can see whether things are up or down, right? And so this is a super valuable tool. Now, what if you didn't want these statistics? You wanted to change what was present. Guess what? You can. You can choose that settings tool and choose market view stats. So notice you have 2 options. One is the report view. The report view is the card that you see on your platform. I'm not a huge fan of average days on market, right? Because it seems to be inflated. It's typically inflated because you've got stale pieces of inventory. I'm a fan of median days on market. Okay, great. So I like median list price, market action index, and median days on market. I'd even like to have inventory, right? So I can swap either one. Now, what's really cool is that you also have what's called a market snapshot. When you click on market snapshot, this allows you to build a snapshot based on statistics that are important to you. Right now, I've got 6. Median list price, market action index, inventory, median days on market. Great, fine. But I can have up to 9. Again, I'm not a big fan of average days on market. Maybe I do want median price of new listings. I really do like relisted percentage, right? What is the percentage of properties that have had to take some sort of so it's more not relist. Relist, we want percent price decrease. But you can turn any of these things on. Okay, so median price, price per square foot if you don't want it. So you get to decide what you want within your market snapshot. Once you do, you click save. Okay, so how do you get to that snapshot? There's a couple of different routes. Okay, so we can go ahead and click on snapshot here. You have that change over since the previous week, which is awesome. But this is where you download an image file. Okay, so you can go ahead and download the image file. What would you do? So you can send this image file to a client. You can embed it into a newsletter. You can share it on social media, right? So there's a lot of great things that you can do here, right? So again, with this, you have the ability to control what statistics are in this view on your platform, right? And your market snapshot. So at any time you can come here and you can change it up. Okay. So hopefully that helps there. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to go back to our list view and talk about our quick keys. Okay. So if we go here and we go to list view, see how easy it is to toggle between the two. And so we are still currently looking at our favorites. Again, you can change that whenever you'd like. But looking at our list, again, each of your locations are here. You have embed. So this allows you to integrate into your website. Did you know, right? So when we looked at our report, right, you go back to the report, there are components here, right? Visualizations that are within the market report that actually live independently. That allows you to take those independent objects and incorporate them into your website. Now, what's really great is that those images are active, so that on click loads the latest version of that report. So if we click on embed, you'll see the images populate here. So you can go ahead and you can do the market profile, market action index, which is really well received. Okay. But one of the gems that I think that is so valuable that you may not realize exists is our summary share. Our summary share takes that snapshot and adds some of your branding, right? Now, if we want to even make it a little bit more interesting, we can go ahead and add the market narrative. Now, the market narrative helps take this and put it into terms that people are going to understand. Not everybody knows what these things mean, so the market narrative will help answer the question, how's the market? Now, the things that you can do with it, right? You can download the image file and use this in your newsletters. You can use this in social media. It's just an image, right? Share this on Instagram. You can copy the image link so that on click loads the image, but better yet, copy the image HTML and embed this into a web page, an e-newsletter, where it acts as an active image. So on click loads the latest version of that particular report. Okay. So this is really, really cool. So hopefully this is something that's exciting to you. And again, when you think about social media, we do have some quick keys, right? We've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Twitter. What about Instagram? So Instagram can be a little bit tricky, right? Because they don't support links, but you can share an image. And so this would be a really great image to share and then drive them to request a market report, which will bring me to my next thing. So under embed, it's not just about images. There's also our tool, which is our lead form. Our lead form allows you to create a report request form. So here you've got your campaign. So you can say, hey, listen, anybody who fills out this form will automatically be added to this campaign, which is just an email communication based on the frequency that you decide. You have control over campaigns. So you could create an Instagram campaign so that you take this link and incorporate it into your Instagram profile. So I'll show you what that means. So we can say, okay, let's do new client default campaign. You want them to be able to choose from any of the reports from within your account. Click on that. Now, that's all you have to do. Copy the link. So now if on click of the link, it is a customized report request form. So I can fill out this form, choose whatever reports I want, send reports now, keep me informed. This information is then sent to your contact database within your Altos account, okay? There are so many great uses for this report request form. All you need is this link. So number one, in your email signature, never miss a beat. Get your free market report today. On click loads this, right? So every email you send is an opportunity for someone to sign up for market reports. That's one use case. I have my Instagram open. I have incorporated mine here. How's the market? Never miss important changes in the market. Click the link, enter your area of interest, and view my market report. Okay, so great, you've got that. So you can incorporate it into your profile. You can take that image file that we just talked about, right? So if we go back again and we say, okay, we are going to grab this summary share with narrative and download the image. And in your post, you make mention, click on my profile and get your localized market report today. Okay. It's a great way to utilize it. And it's great information. Okay. So hopefully this is helpful. I know this was really exciting for me when I got to see this update. So hopefully this is exciting for you too. All right. All right. So we talked about the summary share. We talked about the lead form. Remember, there's lots of use cases. So you can share that link wherever you'd like. It's also a great link for you to add contacts because it's simple. So bookmark it, use it yourself. Anytime you fill this out, it will go ahead and go back here and update your contact database. Okay. All right. All right. So now if we go back here to our platform, we've got the embed. That's a quick key. Again, you can incorporate this data into your website. You can create assets for your social media. You can create that report request form. Okay, now the next one is snapshot. Very similar to our market view, but you click on this. And again, here's your snapshot. Click this button here to download the image. Again, another social media asset that you can share. Okay, valuable information. If you're doing a newsletter, this can be really awesome. This difference between the two, summary share, we don't have that week change, but it has your branding. This one doesn't have the branding, but it has the update so that you can compare what's happening now to last week. Okay, so that is the snapshot. Copy link. Remember, each one of your reports is a unique URL. So click the button here to copy that link. Okay, now the PDF. When you click on this, you have the opportunity to take this online market report and create a PDF. So the PDF, single page PDF, is a really great marketing tool. If you haven't been using it, I definitely recommend it. Yes, we have this report, right? And this report is interactive. It's a great tool to work and interact with your clients. But there are plenty of opportunities where this single page PDF is gold, where you convert it to a PDF, you print one or more copies, and you use these in any open house, neighborhood walks, direct mail. If you go ahead and configure it correctly, you can go ahead and have this work like any business card. All of your contact information is here. Okay. And so what you'll see is that you have this, but if we go through the report, just to let you know, you can click on share and also obtain a full report PDF. This report is 6 pages long. It extracts all of the data within the online report and presents the narrative for each and every chart. And it is a really great tool to utilize in listing presentations, onboarding of new buyers, if you're looking at multiple areas. So you've got a cover sheet and you've got page after page of really well laid out, looks professional, but you can give it to your clients without feeling like you have to handhold them to understand it. We provide the narrative for those who need it, the data for those who enjoy it, and it's really a great tool to accompany any of your listing presentations. So if you haven't been doing that, I highly recommend it, right? So again, you can go through the report, but you got the quick key command to go and gain access to the single page PDF for any of the locations. Okay. All right. So now we have, in addition, our share, right? So our share allows you quick access to sharing on social media. So they all work the same. You click on it, you get to decide on what active image you'd like to incorporate into your post. An active image means on click loads the latest version of the report. When you click share, you write some text around the image, being sure to give your calls to action. Things like, as we head into summer, it's a strong seller's market in Los Gatos. Be sure to click the image below to view the full version of the report. Click subscribe to never miss a beat. Okay, so that is what's possible by quickly using that share button here. In addition, you can do a quick email share. Add your person, name, and email address. It'll quickly send them an email with the link to view the report and be added to your contact database. Now, there is gold in here as well. I like to call them the gems, which is the QR code. If you click here, each one of your locations has its own unique QR code. You just decide if you want to show the single family home or the condo townhouses. So click on single family and here's your QR code and you can download that. What is a good use case for these QR codes, right? So think about taking your PDF to every open house and you generate that QR code. You can put this QR code throughout your open house. Your prospects can then scan the QR code to view the report online and click subscribe. It's a great lead generator. So you can do that. Now, in addition, what if you do door knocking? You can take your PDF, incorporate the QR code, whether it be on the back, add it to the front, however you want to do that. But that way, they can scan it to view the online interactive report and they can choose to subscribe. So there's plenty of use cases for the QR code. You just need to know that it's there, right? And so again, under share, you've got access to that QR code. Okay. All right. So those are the quick key commands here. Hopefully you see that there's some fun things that are hidden within that excite you, that you're excited to potentially incorporate and continue to revisit your Altos platform. Now, one of the things that has changed, so for those of you who've had an account for some time, what about customizing the reports? I've showed you mine, right? How do you go about customizing the reports? And just in case you didn't know, you're going to go click on your name and select Customize Reports. We've changed it up enough to where you're going to be able to see changes as they're done, right? So it's kind of a WYSIWYG type of interface. So here you have your title. And just so you know, best practice is, hey, your name is great, but what is it that you are providing? It's a market report, localized market report, right? Whatever it is that you want to say, but be sure to introduce what it is that you're sharing. Take advantage of the subheader text. Place your contact information in that section so that when and if you do print the reports, it works in your favor, right? Like a business card. But you'll also notice that when you view it online, it's active. I can quickly click on this to send an email, right? So again, use that subheader text to go ahead and put your contact information. You'll also notice that you have a call me button. Why? Because these are really easy to view on mobile devices. So you can have a button on your report to click to call. You just add your phone number here. If you don't want it, it just takes it off. So you don't have to worry about anything. Okay. If you do, just add your phone number and you'll see it appear. You can choose any color of the rainbow, right? If you have a logo and you have a color scheme already and you have the hex code, plug it in. Take the guesswork out. Okay. Scrolling down, you can also incorporate your image. So I have mine within a circle, which is typical for a headshot. If you'd like to add your logo, probably within a rectangle, but you can choose either or with either or a logo or your headshot. Okay. All right. So now under advanced, just a couple of notes because a lot of folks don't know that it exists. You can actually hide the search function if you want. Disable that report search. On the printed version, you can choose to hide presented by or even hide the Altos copyright. Your lead level form. You want to generate leads with your reports? Right now, I have it set to unsubscribe. So in order for me to obtain leads, I have to force folks to, or I have to rely that people are going to click on subscribe. No problem. But this search functionality is great, but it would be really nice to know who's using it. So what you can do under customize is choose on search. So they can search what they'd like to view, but they'll be prompted to provide their information. Okay, and so that's another way to obtain leads. Forced, that is kind of, when you move around within. So if you do this, that pop-up occurs. Okay, and so that's what that forced is. Facebook Pixel, analytics script, if you have either, you can go ahead and add them there. Okay, just remember to click save if you've made any changes. So again, if you're searching for that customized reports, it has now been moved up under your name, customized reports. Okay. All right. So now under contacts, when you click on contacts, those of you who are familiar with Altos, not much has changed here, right? For those of you who are new to Altos, one of the key features of both professional and premium subscriptions is the ability to get your fantastic reports in front of your clients and in their inbox based on the frequency that you decide. This is huge, right? You spend some time up front adding your contacts and we deliver them to you via campaign. Just add your contacts, assign them a report of interest and an email campaign, and we take care of the rest. Okay, so here you'll see I've added some contacts. And those of you who've been using Altos for some time, again, things haven't changed too much. But you've got your contacts here. You can assign them one or more reports. You'll want to make sure you assign a campaign. But one of the great features of this contact database is having that visibility. Who's looked at my reports? Now, I just have a couple as an example, right? But let's say you have hundreds. You can sort who's opened by just clicking the arrows beside open, and it will sort your contacts based on who's opened. These indicators refresh week after week so that you can always be on top of your weekly views. Okay, so this is really great to have. So again, you can add your contacts. Now, there is a hidden gem in here that I think is super helpful, which is our most active list. One of the things about our indicators here, again, is that they are refreshed each week. But you do have access to our your most active list. If you click on download and select most active, it will download a report with all of the details, but it will rank them from those that are most active, how many times they've opened the email, right? And so this is a running 30 days. So you can run the report today and then run the report next week and it will be different, right? But this allows you to work from a document and it's great for follow-up. So I definitely recommend that every once in a while you come and download your most active list. That way you have something to work from and it's a guide as to who you should follow up with. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. So again, your contact database, you can add a contact here, easy peasy, right? You just need first name, last name, email address. Just be sure that you assign a location and a campaign, and that's all it takes. Okay. All right. So again, that's your contacts. So this is a really great feature, right? So the professional level and our premium level can take advantage of adding contacts, obtaining leads. Like I mentioned, you have your report, you've got subscribe. When they click on subscribe, this information is sent to your contact database. They're automatically subscribed to the new client default campaign. You can get notifications as to new leads that come into your account. Okay. All right. So campaigns, I've been talking about campaigns. So campaigns are really important. The campaigns are the delivery of your reports to your clients, right? So campaigns are literally just email communications based on the frequency that you decide. You're automatically equipped with 4. Okay. And so it is required. You think about your reports are the goods. The campaign is the delivery vehicle. Without either, nothing can be sent, right? But it's pretty straightforward. We automatically equip you with 4 so that you don't have to start from scratch. The key thing that you want to remember about campaigns is that the campaign does not determine the location in which they receive. That is done on contact setup, right? This is just an email communication. You'll see the frequency here in the day of the week, but you can preview any of them. What is the difference between them? A spin on words. Okay. Do you have to stick with what we've created? Absolutely not. So if we click preview, this is what the email looks like. Okay. We use variables that call the contact details, right? So it's customized. So it says, hi, Eleanor. And Eleanor may have different locations than Jennifer, right? But they're assigned the same campaign. You'll see that this is the email here, but I'm not stuck with that. So a tip for you is that although you're automatically equipped with 4, you can modify them. You just click on the title and you have access to the components that make up the campaign. You can change the frequency. You can change the text. All of it is customizable. Just click save and you're good to go. Okay, so you can modify existing. You can create new campaigns as well. One tip for using campaigns is to target. So you have a list of leads that maybe you've purchased and you haven't had an opportunity to follow up quite yet. You can add them to your Altos account, assign them a report. You can say, hey, although we haven't had an opportunity to connect quite yet, I like to keep my clients informed about the local market conditions. Here's a report for X. I hope we can connect soon. You add all of those contacts to that campaign, those leads to that campaign, and you go ahead and communicate with them. And then those opens are who you follow up with. Okay. So there's great ways to leverage that campaign so that you can manage your contacts just a little bit better. All right. So with your campaigns, you also have some visibility, just like we did with the contacts. So how many emails were sent? How many opens did we have in this campaign? And then how many clicks within that email? Okay. So this can be really insightful as well. And again, these are indicators that update week after week. Okay. All right. So again, our reports page, this is what's been modified the most, but there are some great things that are in there, right? We've got our contacts, we've got our campaigns, and then I'm just going to touch a little bit on our analytics. Our analytics tool has made a little bit of changes, but this tool is available for all premium clients, right? And the analytics tool is a tool that allows you to create additional data visualizations. When we think about the report itself, this is a general report. This is an overview providing quite a few different data visualizations, the market action index, the profile, the chart. So think of those as individual visualizations there, and you can create additional ones by clicking on New Analysis. So those of you who've been using advanced analytics, this analytics tool, you might find that it's just changed in arrangement. The arrangement is just to help you be able to visualize a little bit better. You configure the data on the left-hand side and then filter to the data on the right-hand side. But just for those who may be interested in knowing a little bit more about our analytics tool, the data visualizations are things like line chart, which is awesome, which is what we see in our reports. The difference is that you can do a comparison of different locations, whereas the reports are location specific. So this allows you to do some comparing between zip codes and cities and counties and those types of things, okay? You also have year over year. So things like if you want to look at inventory in a given location this year compared to last year, compared to the year before, go ahead and go all the way back to 2020. You'll have a line for each of those years. So if we select year over year, and then we have this one, we can come down and choose. You'll see here, year over year, and you can decide on all the years that you'd like to include, and each one represents a year. So it's really cool. So year over year, Sparkline, which is what we see here in our market profile, okay? So Sparkline gives you just a little view. So if you select the Sparkline, you can see and you can add additional statistics. So median price, you can add more locations. Switch it up if you want to do the location and more statistics, okay? But you'll see that this is, instead of a line chart, you have the end result, and then you can look back however far you decide, okay? Ranking, you can do your top 10 most expensive within a particular county, or hottest, which would be your market action index, your market profile, and your market action index. So quite a few things there that you can go ahead and generate. So if we go back here and we say, okay, let's do a ranking. And I say, okay, we're going to do market action under basic. Take this out. And we do 1 year. Then we are going to configure it over here. So Santa Clara County, top 10 locations, highest to lowest. They have to have a minimum of 10. We're going to do cities, right? And then it will go ahead and generate a chart that will give me the top 10. Okay, so right now it's Sunnyvale. My Los Gatos is not even on here, but you'll see that this is really awesome. So this is a great social share, right? So I can save it to my dashboard. I can save it as an image, use this to create a PNG, okay? So what happens if I add it to my dashboard? This is something that I can monitor over time. I can continually build my own dashboard so that I can monitor over time how things might change. So if you're really into data and you want to take it up a notch, I highly advise checking out our advanced analytics. It comes with our premium package, so definitely reach out if you want to have any conversations about that. But this is such a great tool, and so I encourage you to reach out if you have any questions. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we've been up to some really great things. With our new Altos system, there's more reason to visit the platform. The key thing is now you can come back and gauge at a glance using Market View, right? You can get quick insights for your favorite markets, grab unique assets for social media, and learn who's looking at your reports. So if anything has struck a chord, or if there's something specific you'd like to have further discussions about, be sure to reach out. You can drop us a note in the chat and we'll follow up. I'm really thankful that you guys set aside the time today to learn more about Altos. I hope that you're excited. And I hope that you feel like it's time well spent. So if you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the chat so Jeff can assist. Before we close out, I always like to make mention of where you can get some extra resources, right? So again, many of you have probably had a session with me, and if you haven't, you can come up to help. Book your one-on-one here. This is a link to my calendar, and we can talk about strategies. If something, like I said, if something struck a chord or you're excited about something and you want to have further discussions, feel free to book a session with me. Use that to do so. You can come here to frequently asked questions. I'm building new tutorials that will reside here. We've got our report explainer. This is such an amazing tool. This report explainer allows you to answer questions that they're never going to ask. That's what I always like to say, right? It is interesting to me. I've been working with Altos for 15 years and people don't tend to ask questions about what statistics mean. Okay. Don't want to admit that they don't know. And so you can head them off at the path, use the contact database to see who's opening your emails, and then follow up with the report explainer. I like to call it a cheat sheet, right? It's a high level view of the different components that make up the market report, right? But all of the definitions and why we care are listed here. And I really advise that you use this as a follow-up. It is a great tool, okay? So again, that's up under help. You've got some great resources here. You can always reach out via email, contact support, and book some time here. All right. So again, thanks. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to use that chat. We'll stay on the line for a couple of minutes. But thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Lunch and Learn. If you have anything specific that you'd love to cover, hey, drop it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Thanks again for your time.